All right, hello, welcome to day 96 with me, Sara, on my initiation quest, launching my voice, my authentic communication, my next level of initiation in 108 days. Resistance. So this is getting enormously interesting. And today so that's why it's called resistance, because I had so much resistance to doing this today. There was just, first of all, it wasn't part of my existence today at all. I'm pretty tired. I am really shifting something deep. And the body doesn't want to contract because I'm moving into higher states of happiness, of safety, of connection, of just realizations. And it was like I only wanted to lean in to that energy, and somehow this was contracting. The experience of this was contracting, and I really realized that I am not able to figure out the topic. There's nothing coming out naturally. And and then I started to realize, okay, I have a lot of resistance. Okay, so today is the first time I feel resistance on this level. So what does that mean? And then I started to go into the resistance, and then, okay, maybe I speak to the resistance. And I tried that into my body, and then just opened up so quickly. And then the words just started coming. So I had to kind of haste to my computer and create the thumbnail and start setting it up, and I fill everything in, and it's a lot of settings before you can press play. And I could feel there was okay, like whoa, slow down, easy. And here I am. And now I realize that this resistance is connected to the energy that I have been really having my eyes on myself lately. And I've been sharing it. It's this area. So it's around the mouth, and it's in the teeth. I can feel it. And it's also connected to that I'm tensing my jaw in a way that is including the mouth. And it's like I'm tensing the teeth. You see, like here, my lip is forming a curvature. So there's like, I'm doing something there. I'm doing something when I talk. And it's starting to kind of itch. So the energy is starting to move because I'm relaxing my jaw, and I'm relaxing my tongue, and I'm relaxing my voice, and I'm relaxing my speech, and I'm relaxing my energy. And then I'm falling into this safety. And then there's a tiredness there too, of course, because if you haven't felt safe in a long time, maybe you've been running on fear for a long time, maybe lifetimes, then that's a little bit of there's compassion needed there. So I'm sensing that this is kind of, because it's like there's something about this, and now it's also connected to the stomach. So I think that it's connected somehow. And because I'm moving deeper and deeper, and I'm noticing. So this is super interesting. So this didn't open up until I decided to speak about this. And I feel it's also connected with like stripping away, like not doing the hair, like just allowing, becoming this like wild, a lot of feminine embodiment stories, because that's a lot of the teachings. There is stories that are passed on, and there's a lot of those teachings. Now I just dropped my wow. Yeah, there's a lot. Now I have one of those blackouts again. Yeah. Deep energetic shifts in real time. So apparently that is what wants to come through. That like there's some more. Yeah, so now it's like my neck wants to open up. So as soon as I realized this, because I've been so tense all day, I woke up, it's like I'm experiencing freedom in the chest and in the heart on a level that it's been a long time coming. And then it's like my body goes into, it's like the system needs to adapt to a new state. So this is really interesting because with manifestation, we always say energy first. So we shift the energetics first, and then that will materialize in the 3D world, in this world. So I'm experiencing the freedom on an energetic level, on an emotional level, but the body hasn't caught up yet. That's how it feels. And as the joy and the safety is spreading, I am moving. It's like, and that is why love and truth has the highest hierarchical order. So if I pour in love and freedom and happiness and truth, this is my natural state, because I have so many fire elements in my chart, and the natural state is happiness. So when I create my natural state, that has precedence over everything else that is like involved in the process. So as I'm becoming that, it's like there's whatever that is is not gonna stay. So it feels like you see the eyes, like bags on the eyes. It's almost like all of a sudden I started to look old. It's like, yeah, it feels like I'm shifting. And as soon as so I've been so contracted all day and been in like like been catching myself so many times. Open the jaw, open the jaw, open the jaw. And now when I started to talk about this, then all of a sudden body started opening up. So there's an energy that started to open up just because I was moving closer towards this. So that's my body's response to doing this. And that is fascinating. That is absolutely fascinating. It's like in Sweden we call it fish, middle, and bird. Like if you I don't know. Sorry about that. But if it gets warmer when you're closer, it's like the body kind of lights up when you're moving towards whatever you're supposed to do. And that is how the body guides me and shows me, okay, this is the topic apparently today. And I've been in like a bit contractive mode. I hosted a wellspring session today, and that was much needed for my body because I was in such a free state. I was in such a contractive state. So if I zoom out and I look at, okay, what does that mean? Okay, if I'm in a contractive state, because I have to do this every day, but that wasn't really true. So I was in a contracted state. So I noticed that I'm in a contracted state because when I need to show up, I didn't want to. So that's how I understand that, okay, there's a contraction going on because this doesn't feel liberating. It feels like I have to protect myself from something. And then I want to lean into the more expansive happiness frequency. So this wasn't happiness for me. And that's very interesting. And I think it's this, it doesn't come from creativity itself. It comes from a decision I made 96 days ago or a little bit longer. So it's not connected to the now frequency. I'm still living in the past. So I'm connected to the past and I can feel that. And I felt like I'm a little bit like contained until the 108 days are over. So now I also feel like, oh, I don't want to do other videos on the other topics, because then I'm not moving these days forward. Or if I could do both, but it's like I can observe my mind reasoning to make something fit. Can you see how like a belief system, or how I'm putting whatever that is in the way of the energy flowing by the mind making assumptions and making its own analysis. So I understand that I will be in a contracted state until the 108 days are over, and I trust my choice in 108 days. So I'm going to fulfill that. I would never break it. But there's absolutely something going on. And if I zoom out and I look at, okay, what happens if I've been in a contracted state for a long time, and it shifts because everything has to balance out? Yeah, I can expand. So, and I can already feel the expansive state because that's what I want to lean into. But instead I'm pulled into something else. So there's an expansive state that is coming, and I'm noticing that just by how I described. So the resistance, this is the now it's getting interesting. Oh no. Yeah, because it's the fact that I'm doing this, that the topic of resistance had to come up in the first place. And if that hadn't come up in the first place, this whole realization of what is happening would not have occurred. So we're back again at the decision that I made, almost 100 days ago. So there is something about these 108 days. There is something about what is coming after that I'm finding very interesting. It's like my face is changing when my identity is changing. And that is because I always say that the energy comes first, and that the way I look is connected to a way of speaking. So if I start to if I stop certain behaviors and energetic imprints that I've learned that is not naturally my own, that it comes from the outside somehow, that I've taken on. And if I stop doing that, then of course my demeanor has to change, right? That makes sense. But isn't that is so strange? And since I'm sitting here, I'm watching myself. So it's like sometimes I look like my brother, sometimes I look like my grandmother, sometimes it's like I'm seeing all these faces passing through me, and it's such a bizarre experience. If I would have done this 10 years ago, I would never have been aware of these things. I would probably, the only thing that I would probably do if I would have done this 10 years ago is to hyper criticize myself. I think so. So this is extraordinary in so many ways. And all I want to do is just relax the whole. So when I do this, it's like, so if you think that I look weird, if I talk weird, I'm going through, it's like I don't know what to call it, but purging old identities. That's how it feels. Maybe you guys don't see this at all. Maybe I'm just, watching myself, and that maybe you don't see any shifts. I don't know. But I mean, you don't know what my ancestors look like, so you can't really see them in my face either. So, but it's very, very interesting. And I can notice that ways that I express myself that is very similar to family members, and I can see where I've been taking on ways of expression, others' identities. And I've done a lot of craniosacral work, also in the teeth, and Simba does also craniosacral. And that is that every tooth is connected to a certain part of your bloodline. So the teeth is all about ancestors and family members and such. So, and that is also what is passed on generation by generation, the identities. We are like this. This is what we do, or this is who we are. All of a sudden, it feels like I'm aging, but not. The body just feels like it's getting stronger and stronger. It's just the face that it feels like it's like coming off or something. It's so strange. But I told you that it's fluids are moving in the body too. Yeah, interesting days. Today we're gonna go celebrate Simba because it's his birthday. So I'm waiting for him to come home, and then we're gonna head out for dinner. So big shifts. And I will see you tomorrow. I started to get pretty self-conscious there for a while. Like, ooh, now, because now is, I think, the first time when I felt, ooh, wonder if people think that this is weird. That hit me. And then I had some sort of feeling, and then I was about to, and that kind of like, okay, they think I'm weird, better that I, sign off. That kind of, like, super quickly, like, what was that? So I noticed that and like, what was that? I'm like, oh, I gotta speak to that because I don't want that energy. So then I spoke to it. And that is the first time I think I've felt like, oh, I wonder what people are gonna think. Everything is good. Getting a comment here. What's good? Everything. God is good all the time. Let them. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I caught myself in like having that kind of weird, like, ooh, it's like, yeah, let them. And that's the point, right? And that's the whole thing of just opening up and speaking and allowing. But this whole energy in the teeth, it's I'm very aware of it all the time. And I've never been aware of my mouth like this in my life. So there's definitely something going on. Like there is something's happening. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm not so let's not I'm not worried. I'm excited. This is getting interesting. I'm getting I'm getting entertained finally. There's a part of my being that hasn't been entertained in this lifetime. There hasn't been it's not interesting enough. But we're getting there. So that part of me is very excited. Okay, now I'm gonna round off. Yeah, we gotta have fun. But that's the thing. We have to have fun. I mean, that's if I would say that happiness is your birthright, I think there's a lot of people that would look at me like, what? Like, what do you like? Know that? I don't think so. So that's a strong statement. But that's how far we are from how it can be. The pendulum. The pendulum. The pendulum is far on the other end. So gotta let it swing back. But that's what's happening. I feel it coming. I really do. And yeah, we'll balance it. Okay, so this was relieving and releasing and very opening for me. So now I'm getting super hot. So yeah, this is what happens when I follow my body. So apparently I'm supposed to sit here and talk about my own weird process. And I'm following orders. No, this is a choice. I choose to allow because my body responds with types of feelings that I've never had in my life. So how am I supposed to not do that? It's like yeah. Oh, I'm getting so many beautiful comments there. Lovely. I appreciate you, and we're in this together. We are. Thank you so much. Okay, what a shift in energetics for me. So I'm very grateful and appreciative of that. And I will see you tomorrow, and I look forward to that. Ciao.